Buckle up as we explore the journey from creative concepts of literature, recognizing our accomplished genres. Thank you everyone and I welcome all the panelists today. Thank you for joining us today. It means a lot for us. Today we have three interesting people joining us on the stage as our panelists. First, I would like to call upon stage Deepika Bhushan, an award-winning senior publishing professional. Deepika Bhushan heads Market My Book, a leading publicity and digital marketing agency for writers, publishers since 2014. After leading marketing at Harvard College in India for about 7 years now. It's also a huge pleasure to have you here today. Now we have Sohail Mathur on stage. Sohail Mathur is an award-winning author, a TEDx speaker, and a literary agent through his agency, The Book Baker. He is a prominent figure known for his work on over 889 books and is the festival director of Book Baker's online literature festival. I welcome you here, sir, today. Last but not the least, the moderator for our session, Apnika Gupta. Apnika Gupta is a versatile storyteller, author, engages in digital content curation, traditional writing, performance poetry, and focuses on cause-driven art. Her work has been published internationally as well. What an honor to have you here today. Now I would request our moderator to start the conversation. Thank you so much.
Yes. Hi everyone. First of all, I'm really happy to be at the book fair. I think it's one of those times of the year that you get to see so many readers together in one place, so many publishers and everybody from the industry. So I think to me it is literally one of those moments where you see everybody come together. And I think what an honor to have this conversation with Deepika and Sohail on something I think that every author has spent so much time trying to figure out, which is how to market and sell their books. Is there an echo in the mic?
It's in the ground.
Yes, so I think book marketing and author branding are topics that we all have commonly heard of in the industry, and everybody who starts their writing journey or their authorial journey wonders how to create a brand for themselves, how to sell the book, because that's where the real journey begins for a lot of people, and that's what people say, that's the second part of you becoming an author once you finish your book. So I will start this session first of all by addressing this key question that which is addressed to both of you, Deepika and Sohail, that how aware do you think authors are in the first place of the need to invest in marketing, think about marketing, and to give it the kind of attention that they give to the writing of their books? Yes.
So, good morning everyone and thank you so much for the question. I think the authors are aware that marketing needs to be done. That is something they're definitely aware of. Where you need a greater understanding is who needs to do that marketing. That is the difference, because invariably what happens is that for anyone who's starting afresh in the literary industry, they assume that a lot of marketing would be done by the publisher. And whenever, for people like us who have been in the trade for long and know how the workings of the trade are, advise and guide them that, this is how it has to be a collaborative process. That's when they actually realize what is to be done. Some people actually take that head on, and some buckle under pressure, which is all right, because at the end of the day, creating a marketing plan is important. It is not mandate key, right? Because at the end of the day, the publisher will select on the basis of merit. But yes, if an author has a strong marketing plan, chances of a book being taken up by a publisher increases several fold, because if you have 10 good books and you have to select, say 4 in a month, how do you do that? The publisher will then see the marketing plan that, okay, we have 10 good books, but here is what the author is assisting us with. And then you narrow it down from say 10 to 6. And then you see the bios. And then you bring it down from 6 to 4. So that is the process. I think that is what is very important for people to learn. I mean, there have been incidents where, people have actually, so just last year, there were two people, two authors, who said that, why are you making us create a marketing plan? Why? This has to be done by the publisher. The publisher will do what they have to do. Right? At the end of the day, it's very simple. If your book doesn't sell commercially, it doesn't affect you as an author financially. Probably affects you emotionally, but it does not affect you financially because it's not your main source of income. But if a book does not do well commercially, it affects the publisher because that is their only source of income. So a publisher will do what they have to do. But if you collaborate with someone and do something at the end of the day, it will help because you've seen the number of publishers going on, and you can multiply at least 500 books each publisher has.
Right.
So the competition is intense. The competition is intense and the quality is wonderful. So how do you make your product stand out? How do you tell people that, look, this is my book. You should buy this for sure. Maybe not over something, but definitely over here because we want good literature to flourish. So I will not say that buy this over that. But it's important to do that. And I think that is what a lot of authors are learning also. I think Amish was the initiator of that in many ways, say 10 years, 12 years ago.
Yeah.
And over a period of time, a lot of people are doing it. So I think sensitivity to it is necessary. Why there is lesser sensitivity to it is also something that I will tell you. And that is because a lot of publishers will not openly say that, we need a very strong marketing plan. Because if you say that, then, again, the authors will say, no publisher can do that. And publishers don't want that thought process to come into play. Of course, it will come into play organically, but it's not something that everyone may want to bring out. So they'll probably bring it closer to the book's release, they'll discuss it. Or, once the author has signed up, then they'll mention that. Or they tell literary agents that, this is a very interesting premise that you should work on. So I think that's how it is. But I think later, which is why I think this session that is being organized, by the front desk and KLF team is so important because it gives us an opportunity to talk frankly and freely about it. And just to end, I'd like to say that, you have Lipika over here who's been, in this particular branch for so many years and doing commendable work. There was a time, when we used to bring out books, and once the book was out, the author used to ask, what next? How do we promote it? And earlier what we used to do is that if we knew someone, and I'm telling you to say something around 2016, 17, we used to probably connect them with one or two people who we knew would read something in the trade. But, over a period of time, one realized that, at the end of the day, the author is lost, even after the book is released. And they are trusting you because you handheld them thus far. So it is very important and necessary for the literary agent to develop a network of marketers as well. Because what happens when a marketer and a literary agent collaborate or something else is having that also is that when that happens, you can do more work. And obviously, when you are doing more work, there are benefits over there. Right, so which is to say that if, for example, a book distributor, so a book distributor is usually charging X rupees to place a book somewhere for 1 month, they probably charge X minus Y to us. Or if they're charging the same amount, then the book will be kept instead of a month for 2 months or 3 months at the same place. So those are the benefits that come because there is volume of work. And I think that is the synergy that we all need to look at.
So I think Suresh, that definitely makes a lot of sense and some very critical points. I think the first one being that who is ultimately going to do the marketing? Because I think there's a lot of dilemma in the author's mind where there is a sort of passing the buck that goes on between the author and the publisher, where the author feels that okay, this is the publisher's job to market the book, And at the same time, like Sabine said, there is a barrier even on the part of the publisher to openly and outrightly say that yes, along with your books, which you need to have a marketing plan as well. So I think let's now hear from Lipika, because who better than her to address the readiness of authors to market their books, because Lipika runs Market My Book, which is a dedicated book marketing agency, and she's worked with numerous authors. So we would love to know your experience, Lipika.
Well, firstly, thank you, Pragati, for inviting me here, and I'm so glad to share the stage with Sohail and Nika. Both are my colleagues from publishing, and both have ensured that they make me feel very old by suggesting that I've been here for many, many years when I joined as a baby. So I'm just, but yeah, it's been
She's the Sachin Tendulkar of the literary industry.
Well, I spent 17 years of my publishing career after my overall 21 years of work. And I've seen the publishing ecosystem move from a point where the publisher used to own up everything in terms of marketing, to now a point where it is a large part of marketing is now, on the shoulders of a writer. As very rightly pointed out by Sohail, obviously the needs have changed, the demands have changed. There's a lot more publishing happening in the Indian market by the Indian writers. There's a lot of competition from self-published writers. So what was the scenario, say, about 2 decades ago no longer exists. I would not call it as a problem, but probably it's a industrial structure where, the way publishers used to function 20 years ago, they continue to work that way. But changes happen. There is a lot more need for the writers to get involved in marketing of their books. And marketing starts right from the point, as very rightly mentioned by Sohail, right from the point where they are pitching for their books. If you need a good publisher, obviously you have to have a very strong profile in place, you have to have a very strong book in place, but at the same time you also need to maybe assure them that you will be able to help them market their books. But after the book is out, that is where the real action starts. If you're not able to sustain your marketing exercise for the next 6 to 8 months of the book coming out, it's very sure that, so there are several aspects to it. One aspect is, say for example, you've got a good publisher in the first book. So that's again a brand identity, a brand assurance that comes to your personal brand. Now, once the book is out, if you don't sustain it, if you don't market it well, even after it coming from a big publisher, and it still falls flat, you have ruined that one opportunity you got, right? Now the second part is probably you've not been published by the dream publisher that you have in the first book. And if you, after you've launched the book, you do a great marketing job, you establish your first brand, you're more likely to get a far better publisher to publish you the second time around. So what happens is, I think the entire, as I said, the ecosystem has become such now that a lot of this onus lies on the writers. Unfortunately or fortunately so. You're more in control of your book. You're more in control of how you're going to maneuver that book into the market. You're less dependent on your publishers. So there are a lot of positives also about it. What another important thing that I've changed, which kind of change that I've seen in the last 2 decades, is that today it's lot more about personal branding. It's no longer that writers are to earn their livings from any which way. They would never earn their livings from selling books. I'm sorry. That's how we are. But there were very few writers who could strike a big deal and get big advances. Now slowly the advances are being made. But what has changed is that there are a lot more opportunities other than your book that provide you with enough money and fame and whatever you need. If you look at Amish's story or you look Chetan Bhagat's story, you may or may not like their readers. You may, their books may or may not be a fan. But you can't deny the fact that they were the first few people who actually disrupted the market. They brought in the disruption of, ensuring that you have to market your book to get visible. Amish, he self-published his first book. Today he's producing, documentaries. So you see how the career has grown, and books are just one way of being there. So another big change, and now that is where we have started working a lot more on, is the fact that it is no longer about one book marketing. It is about your entire personal brand. So no longer it is about one book and an author marketing, but more about a larger perspective of how you want your brand profile to be viewed by a much larger audience outside of the readership audience.
Just to add to that, in fact, you raised a very interesting point that it is about creating a brand, and a brand cannot be created by just one book. You need to sustain that. I mean, even if you talk about the names that we were discussing right now, if a publisher signs them up today, these authors will still have to go and promote it, because that is what the publisher is also expecting them to do. If it's a big name and you've got someone, so then you expect that to happen. But the interesting part over here is that when it comes to creating this plan, this marketing plan, what I've noticed is that newer publishers, younger publishers in the trade are fine with a less extensive marketing plan, because obviously their risks are lesser in terms of the print runs that they're doing. And the bigger publishers require that much more of the marketing assistance. Now I remember, I was having a chat with this publisher, and we were discussing a book, and he said that this book sounds great, he wants to definitely do it, what's the name of the author? And he went and he checks the author's profile out on Instagram. He said, oh, this author has only 16,000 followers. That's too low for us, you need to have a minimum 1 million. So if you don't have 1 million, then we can't do the book. So I was like, which basically means that you want to work with people who've already become stars through their system and then do a book. You're not saying that you will make someone a star because you're a big publishing house. So that's also something which is unfair definitely. But what can one do about it? But the other thing is that, so as I said, that the bigger the publisher, the greater has to be the extensiveness that one has to put in as far as the marketing is concerned. And what the difference is that I've seen that a lot of times when the book is actually published by these very big publishers, and because these bigger publishers have direct access to newspapers or bookstores or airports, the book is organically being placed or being covered over there. As a result, some of these authors may actually become lackadaisical in their approach. They like publisher sabji kar do raha hai. But what they don't realize is precisely this, that if your book doesn't do well with a younger publisher, you can always come back to another book with a younger publisher or a better publisher with your extensive marketing plan. But if you get an opportunity with a big publisher, you get that one opportunity. You can't let that go. They will do what they do, but eventually they'll say that, oh, despite us doing X, Y, Z, we didn't see that kind of support or enthusiasm from the author. Or the book did not sell that much. So as a result, what that book will do is probably ensure that for a lifetime, you will not work with that publisher. And that is how it happens, because I've seen authors who have written to me saying that, I did a book 10 years ago with X. I said, great, so happy to pitch this one. That one didn't do well, so they're not keen on working now. So it's not about the writing style, it's probably not also about the content. See, I always say that when a literary agent and an author are working, it is predominantly about the content, because you will pitch it on the basis of that. When a publisher comes into play, commerce is added. right? And rightly so, I mean, at the end of the day, it's a business for them. Yes, you have to make sure quality, but you also have to make sure that books sell. Otherwise, the publishing house won't work. But that is the difference that authors need to learn. So I think being proactive constantly and not just thinking that, okay, I have arrived.
Yeah.
Will do the thing.
I think actually one of the key questions I wanted to address in the session was the importance and relevance of personal branding, and secondly the fact that most authors I think become cognizant of the need for marketing their books once the book is already out and once they have a publishing contract on board. So I think that therefore becomes very important, and I think one of the frameworks which I personally felt, because we're living in the startup world, everyone is watching Shark Tank nowadays and there's a business idea in every home. So I think it becomes very important even for authors to look at their entire journey like being a startup founder. And somewhere you finding a publisher, like Suhail rightly said, the commerce gets involved because they are the ones putting the money to ensure the readiness of your product for the market, as well as the availability and distribution. So I think that's why it's very somewhere becomes integral for authors and writers also to push themselves through the discomfort of acknowledging the fact that if you're going to a publisher, you need to have a future plan. You need to have some level of projected value of how much you'll be able to sell, what is your target audience, and because whenever you're creating content, the moment you target it to a certain audience, you know the genre, you know what books are selling in your genre, your entire approach changes. And I think somewhere writers still are reluctant, because when you're looking at a book, you look at it as your baby, as a creative project, and you're not willing to accept the commerce or the involvement of other people on how much they can or cannot do. Like I think Lipika and Suhail both said that publishers will not do the heavy lifting.
Yeah, but I don't think things have started changing. I set up market my book about exactly a decade ago. And I also probably thought then that, and those are the times when there weren't any other agencies or any people specifically dedicated to freelancing for writers. Today there are a lot more. So if there are, not just my agency, but there are agencies dedicated to marketing the books, there are people freelancing dedicatedly. Definitely the need has been realized by the writers. They have been hiring a lot more services and are seeking a lot more help. So I don't think there is any reservation or skepticism for hiring any additional help to ensure that whatever work you put out there should sell well and should be visible. So things have changed quite a lot. The last decade has seen a huge change. Earlier, writers used to depend, there weren't any agencies. Today there are almost 9 dozen agencies. Similarly, when I started, there weren't any marketing agencies in India. Even if they had to hire PR, they used to hire PR services who had actually no clue of how the book market works. So, and therefore they could not really deliver the kind of results that were required for but today there are so many freelancers working on it.
So I'll actually push you deeper here into another thing I wanted to address. So when it comes to marketing for books, right, there's some strategies which would be very different from the way marketing works for other products. So can you shed some light on that how is book marketing different from marketing for any other product?
See, that's a very good question and I'm glad you asked it. Because the thing is that I used to work in white goods and consumer durables before I entered publisher. And the marketing there was and there was telecom also, so marketing was like an overnight strategy change, right? Coming from that world to a world which was extremely slow in adapting and adopting new stuff. But over my years of experience, one thing I realized that why is it that general PR agency is because it's a very complicated product. See, unless you understand your product well, you will not be able to market it. How many in fact I should not say this, but a lot of publicists even in publishing don't read books. But frankly, how many of us really read that book and understand the strengths well to ensure that we are marketing it well? Unless you know your product well, how will you put it out in the market? How will you know who is the target audience? Author जब लिखता है, he or she feels मैं मेरी किताब तो सब पढ़ सकते हैं. That's a general that we are people of 140 odd billion people and हमारी किताब तो सब पढ़ेंगे तो मतलब कम से कम 100 billion तो बिकनी चाहिए, right? But that's not the case. In reality, every book has its own target audience, and unless you are able to identify that target audience, use your entire machinery, that is your media, your influencers, your bloggers, your platforms where you are to make the author visible, unless you are able to put your entire machinery in a structure which actually allows you to reach that target audience, you will not get the desired results. So that is the problem. I think the problem area is there. Why other agencies are not able to deliver is because it's too complicated a product to understand and then work a strategy.
Thank you, Lipika. That's a very valuable insight. I think for me now, I'll ask you a very specific question. Now, when we're talking about marketing, like you mentioned, to what extent can a literary agency or an agent, because you've worked with so many authors yourself, control the investment that the publisher is giving to a certain book in terms of marketing? And this I'm asking you considering the fact that at any given point in time, an author will still have just one or two books in the pipeline, but a publisher will have many titles in their publishing portfolio. So for any book that you choose to represent, how does the whole prioritization of particular title for marketing from the publisher's end go, and how far are you able to sort of, what do I say, kind of regulate it or be on top of it?
Sure. So I think that's a very pertinent question. I'll also just weigh in on what you said earlier. You mentioned Shark Tank. Now, in Shark Tank, the benefit is if you get an investor to invest money. So money is the end motive of making a pitch. If you correlate it with the book parlance, it is not money. It is getting either a book deal first or getting your book successful by sales. So it's not money. Because what will happen is that, and I often tell a lot of my authors that if you are investing something in branding, invest it precisely for that. Invest to create a good brand so that it helps you for your future books. If you're thinking that I'm investing 50,000 rupees, for example, and I will make 1 lakh rupees out of the 50,000 that I'm investing, probably that's not going to happen. Because your book sales may be over 1 lakh or over 2 lakh rupees, but you're getting 10% of that or 7% of that as the royalty.
Yeah.
So even if you're selling 1 lakh, you're getting 10,000 rupees of it. How much have you spent? 50,000. But you cannot and should not compare it in those terms. What that do is that when people see that this book is sold, books worth 1 lakh, publisher will say, okay, please come, do a book with us next time around. And that's how your brand grows. You also need to understand that why agencies earlier haven't been able to do this. Like I mentioned, there weren't agencies earlier, there were literary agencies. Earlier, in fact, I think a lot of literary agencies still do not look into the marketing aspect of things. And that is where I think makers are trying to make a difference. But a very important point she mentioned was that the product is different. Here, a product is a one-time product of 200 or 300 rupees only. So you may come back to me saying that, look, I use a soap, but that is only for 10 rupees. In comparison to that, your book is 20 times the amount. But as I said, it is a one-time book. You will just invest in once. You will have a bath all your life. So you keep on buying soaps, 10 into, a million times. But that is what it is. In fact, it's very funny that people don't understand that the literary industry per se is an industry of lesser margins. The product itself is of 200, 300 rupees. What do you do? I remember having a chat with, a celebrity filmmaker, and he was telling me that, Suhail, I want to do a book. And we discussed what the advances possibly for him could be like. And he told me that, I told him the numbers, and he said that, yeah, this is also what I heard from my colleagues who have books. But ऐसा है that मैं अगर 100-page की script लिखता हूँ ना Netflix के लिए, तो Netflix मुझे 1 lakh rupees per page देता है, for that 1 page of script. So I'm doing a 100-page script. I'm earning 1 crore rupees straight away. But even if I'm a celebrity and I do something great over here, it'll probably be 100th of something if at all they're getting in advance. So that is the difference. But then he said that, okay, I understand, it's for branding. People don't know me by name, but if I have my face on the cover, it will help. Or very recently, just 3 days ago, I was having a chat with a singer who we represent, and he had connected me with a music director, a friend of his, for a book. And we had of course set up terms and conditions, and I spoke to the singer saying that what's the next step. So he said that these are the pointers that he has suggested, and I told him why it doesn't work. So he said, यार ऐसे मत कर, उसका जो lawyer है ना, वो so and so is the number 1 IP lawyer of the country. I said he might be the number 1 IP lawyer of the country, but he doesn't have an understanding of how the book trade works. Every industry works differently. I possibly have a chat on that, but every industry works differently. IP industry, you mean you are put in the legal field. That doesn't give you authority to know how the literary field works. So some tweaks will have to be made. You can't be 100% what you said, and they understood that. So I think that is very important. Now, as far as we are concerned, I don't look at a marketing plan when I'm making a selection for my own self to represent it. When I look at a book, it has to only solely be on the basis of merit in the story. And if I feel one with it, if I don't feel one with it, there's no point representing it because you're not doing an honest job. It's important to be honest to the book at least. And if I don't believe in it, I'm not going to pitch it. Or even if I pitch it, I'm not going to probably pitch it convincingly. So it's very important that you have that conviction. So as far as we're concerned, marketing will come once we've signed up with the author and guide them. But we are not saying that okay, this person has not sent their plans, we're not representing them. No. Our only criteria is a good concept or a good story or a good writing skill. When you ask me how do you get involved or how are you able to tell the author what the publisher will do, well, there is a beautiful thing called experience. So since you have worked with all these publishers earlier, you know what they're going to do, what they're not going to do, what capabilities that they have. Like ABC can be done, DEF can't. So those are the things that one has to advise and tell the author as well, and be honest about it. Because you have to be honest. I mean, if you're saying that the publisher can't do DEF, you're not being rude to the publisher. You are telling them that the publisher can do ABC, and I always put it out in a positive manner because at the end of the day, the publisher who believes in your story is the best publisher for your book. I may want to publish with X, but if X doesn't want to publish my book, what will I do? So if there is C who say that yes, I like this and I like the publisher, then you should go with C because C believes in your vision. They do a good job. That is where the experience comes in. There are certain publishers who have great books for distribution. There are certain publishers who will be very strong at airports. There will be certain publishers who will probably sell only on online platforms, but they will do a lot of marketing online so that people can buy books. And as most people in the industry will tell you that books kept in bookstores are predominantly used for cataloging purposes, right? You go to a store, you will see a book kept over there for $2.99. You will go to Amazon, you will find it for $2.50. You will go home and you will order that. Or if it's for less, you will still do that. So it's for cataloging purposes. That we have had the biggest publishers tell me, even when we are doing, say, a film star's book, that please ask him to push the book on Amazon, because that is where a lot of sales will happen. So I think bigger publishers have also realized where the sales are happening. But you know, what they do is entirely what they do. I don't interfere in their working,
Yeah.
saying that,
Yeah.
listen, you do this, you know, or do that. They'll say that, well, you already know what we do or we don't. So, you know, we have that kind of equation. We have that kind of equation. So, however, if there is something that they're supposed to do and they're not doing, then I tell them, look, this was supposed to happen, this hasn't happened. Can you please push that? Or I have a chat with my author, saying that, okay, look, this is what the publisher is doing. Let's do this. To promote your book and to make yourself a brand.
Right,
You know,
right,
so
right.
that is the circle.
Yeah.
That is the circle.
So I think that's also something very important that's well addressed here, because the fact that it's an industry of lesser margins, I think also brings us to that reluctance where, you know, people might feel the need to, like, say, move towards a script versus actually, I think, writing a book. And this is something very, I think, I myself, because I think it's only been like 3 to 4 years that I kind of really started exploring this path. And, you know, every time I enter writing conference, there's always this notion of so actually we are running out of time a little bit, and I think we're all very passionate about this topic, so we can actually go on and on. But I would love to have some questions from the audience for Lipika, Suhail, anything you would like to ask.
See, before we go on to the audiences, there's one point I want to make. You know, there are लिखने के लिए जो है ना आपको और किताब लिखना क्यों जरूरी है? Why is it that you will earn lot more money writing for different platforms, and obviously you want to earn a living. But frankly speaking, अगर आप हम सब किताबों की दुनिया में काम कर रहे हैं, even with the I think we have the lowest of pay package structures in our industry, is because किताबें एक ऐसी चीज है जो हिस्ट्री में जाती है. आपका नाम जो है हिस्ट्री में दर्ज होता है, it's registered in history. Today you still pick up and read something which was written 5,000 years ago. I mean, I think so. मतलब हमारा आज का उद्देश्य बिल्कुल ये नहीं था that we dissuade you from writing books. I think the only important thing that we do it so much so that we've given it years to put it together and publish it. Please put a little more effort into getting it out there to your readers. Identify your readers. Unless you do that, you will not be able to engage with them. You will always feel frustrated. I'm sure यहाँ कितने लोग हैं जो किताब लिखते हैं? How many of you are writing a book or have written a book? See, everybody has a story. So how are you going to stand out among the crowd? You will have to devise your own ways and figure out your own marketing strategies to do that. And if it needs help, seek that help. So it's always better to put the best foot forward. With that, I will let you close and maybe ask some questions.
Now we'll take your question.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
My name is Shailini, and I recently, of course, written a book. It is more or less kind of a self-publishing, so it was absolutely amazing to listen to all of you and understand the value. But one thing I always say that even if especially you're the first-time writer, you don't really have that much of linkages like your reader groups and all that. You're trying to find your reader group. I think in that situation, it is absolutely necessary that some people who do the marketing actually read the book. It has a lot of aspects that are disruptive. It can really change the dialogue. It can create dialogue. But I think it is very much in the hands of people who market your book or promote your book or publish your book, because that is where you need the support. That's where amazing literature comes up. That's where amazing new ideas come up. So that's what I would expect.
That is true, but what I also mentioned over here is that why it becomes important then to get a good publisher. As you mentioned that you self-publish your book. What I always tell authors is that authors who self-publish vis-a-vis authors who get published traditionally, where authors who self-publish lose out is in the back of perception. So, for example, if you're meeting someone and they ask who's published it, and you say X has published it, and it's a self-publishing house. I may not want to buy the book in any scenario, but I'm like, oh, probably the book wasn't that good, or probably you may not have got, a publisher, which is why you have to pay and get published. Which we can order comparison to the fact that I go and I say that, I've been published by, say, Upper College. This right in front of me. So, so they still not buy the book. They'll be like, oh, Upper has published it, must be a good book. So it's a matter of perception. And it may not be true to the content may be excellent of both books, but it's just a matter of perception. Even when it comes to marketing, what happens is that a lot of times books which are self-published are not accepted by bookstores. Bookstores say that, this has been self-published, so we cannot take it up. If you are applying for awards, sometimes they say that, people only take up books which have been traditionally published. So that is basically how it works. So that's important. It's all chronologically linked. So probably I'm step one, where you come to the literary agent, we get to the publisher. Once the publisher is on board, then you get in touch with the marketer, build your brand. So I think that is the correct way to go about it. And the very purpose, I'm happy that we met slightly earlier and I shared my car photos with you. I think the very purpose of discussion like this is to sensitize people about what are the options available for them. A lot of times what happens is authors are unaware of the options available. So I think what this session has done very beautifully, especially ably moderated by Amika, has brought us up that there are a lot of things that you could do to build your brand. And the beautiful thing with a book is that a book, unlike a movie, can run for years and years altogether. It's not like it's been 2 weeks, so you can't promote it. You can promote your book even 5 years after it's released because it's there. And she said it's there, it's a brand. So you go on Amazon, you will see the book over there. Start the promotion. So anyone who's not read your book or hasn't heard of it, it's a new book for them. So go ahead and do it. Any time is as good as any.
So yeah.
मैं शत्रिका से हूँ और आपसे हिंदी में ही चाहूँगी कि आप मेरे प्रश्न का उत्तर हिंदी में दें। मैं ये पूछना चाहती हूँ क्या ब्रांडिंग या प्रकाशन या लेखक में कुछ तत्व मौजूद होते हैं तभी पुस्तकें बिकती है या फिर केवल ब्रांडिंग के अनुसार पुस्तकें बिकती है? क्योंकि मैं तो एक प्रकाशक नहीं हूँ, तो मैंने एक चीज़ देखी कि प्राय प्रकाशक ब्रांडिंग और लेखक ऐसे मतलब लेखक खोजते हैं जिनसे कि उनकी पुस्तकें बिकें। तो आप इसके बारे में क्या कहें?
तो मैं पहले बस ये कहना चाहूँगा कि इनका इससे बताया कि वो ज़्यादा शायद अक्षर तरीके से बता सके। पर जैसे मैंने पहले कहा था कि जब मैं एक लिटरेरी एजेंट के तौर पे काम करता हूँ और कोई अपनी मैन्युस्क्रिप्ट मुझे भेजता है, तो मैं सिर्फ ये देखता हूँ कि वो कहानी कितनी अच्छी है या वो कहानी मुझे कितना छू रही है। अगर वो कहानी मेरे से कनेक्ट नहीं कर पाएगी तो मैं उतना अच्छा उसमें काम नहीं कर पाऊंगा। तो जहाँ तक एक लिटरेरी एजेंट और लेखक की बात है, वहाँ पर ये बेहद जरूरी है कि आप एक अच्छी कहानी लाएं, क्योंकि वही मापदंड है सबसे पहले जो प्रकाशक भी देखेगा। अगर आप अपनी पहली किताब कर रहे हैं या दूसरी किताब कर रहे हैं तो ये बेहद जरूरी है कि जो कंटेंट है वो कीमत हो। पर क्योंकि आप अपनी पहली और दूसरी किताब कर रहे हैं तो ये भी आवश्यक हो जाता है, अनिवार्य हो जाता है कि आप उसके साथ एक ऐसा प्लान कीजिए जो शायद प्रकाशक को इंटरेस्ट करे और उन्हें बोले कि हाँ ये किताब भी अच्छी है और ये प्लान भी अच्छा है। इस नए लेखक को हम मार्केट में लाते हैं। आपने बिल्कुल सही कहा कि कई ऐसे प्रकाशक हैं जो शायद उन लेखकों को भी प्रकाशित कर रहे हैं जिनकी शायद किताब उतनी अच्छी ना हो लेकिन वो बिकती है। तो इसमें मैं दो चीजें कहना चाहूँगा कि कोई भी क्रिएटिव फील्ड हो उसके अंदर 100% अप्रूवल रिकॉर्ड किसी का नहीं होता। आप शोले भी बनाएंगे तो कुछ 10 लोग होंगे जो बोलेंगे कि अच्छी नहीं है, और आप राम गोपाल वर्मा की आग भी बनाएंगे तो 10 लोग होंगे जो बोलेंगे बहुत अच्छी है। तो इतनी अच्छी किताब है या नहीं है ये बहुत इंडिविजुअलिस्टिक डिसीजन है। पर क्योंकि वो लेखक अपने आप को पहले प्रूफ कर चुके हैं तो आसान हो जाता है प्रकाशक को बुक लेना, क्योंकि वो जानते हैं कि अच्छा करेगी और जब वो एक साथ काम कर रहे हैं तो वो और आइडियाज डिस्कस कर सकते हैं। उसका एक सिंपल एग्जांपल है दैट हो सकता है कि रोहित शेट्टी एक फिल्म बना रहे हो और आपको शायद स्टोरी उसकी नहीं अच्छी लगती है, पर आपको पता है कि रोहित शेट्टी अगर वो पिक्चर बनाएंगे तो 100 करोड़ की पिक्चर कमाएगी, राइट? तो आप उस एज अ प्रोड्यूसर आप बोलेंगे हाँ रोहित शेट्टी कम लेट्स मेक समथिंग बिकॉज़ वी अर्न मनी। विज़िबल अगर मैं जाता तो बोलेंगे कि आपकी कहानी कितनी अच्छी है, क्योंकि मेरा तो कोई पार्ट नहीं है उसमें। पहले मैं एस्टैब्लिश कर लूंगा अपने आप को, फिर हम लीवे दे सकते हैं। मतलब नहीं कि हम खराब काम करें आगे जाके, लेकिन थोड़ा लीवे मिल सकता है बिकॉज ऑफ द वर्क यू डन इन द पास्ट। ये एक कड़ी है जो दोनों चीजों में जोड़ती है।
जी आप मानिए।
हाँ, प्रकाशक जो होते हैं वो प्रकाशक क्या ब्रांडिंग हो सकते हैं केवल नए लेखकों के लिए?
देखिए, मैं आपके सवाल जो दोनों सवाल है ना, उसका एक सिंपल सा आंसर है। अगर हम सिद्धांतों की बात करें तो सिद्धांतों के अनुसार तो मैं एक लेखक हूँ, मैंने अपनी पूरी मेहनत जो है उस किताब को लिखने में लगा दी। कायदे में सिद्धांत के हिसाब से मेरा काम वहाँ खत्म हो जाता है ना। फिर प्रकाशन का काम शुरू होता है कि वो उसे अच्छी पैकेजिंग करें और उसे मार्केट में भेजें, ठीक है। लेकिन जहाँ ये कार्य करने में आप हो सकता है 100 लोगों तक अपनी बात उस किताब के माध्यम से पहुँचा सकें, आप अगर ब्रांडिंग वाला एस्पेक्ट उसमें जोड़ देंगे तो आप वही 100 लोगों के बजाय 1000 लोगों तक अपनी बात पहुंचाने की सक्षमता रख पाएंगे। तो इसमें ना हम सिद्धांतवादी होकर, इमोशनल होकर ये सोचें कि ये ब्रांडिंग का काम है, ये तो मेरा तो लिखने का काम है, लेखन का काम है, मुझे उसमें घुसने की जरूरत नहीं है। तो मुझे लगता है वो आज का लेखक हम नहीं चाहेंगे कि गरीब रहे, हम नहीं चाहेंगे कि वो झोला लटका के बेचारा जो है अपने 2 वक्त की रोटी के लिए जो है शामिल है। तो आप अगर पैसा कमाना चाहते हैं और समृद्धि लाना चाहते हैं तो लेखकों को सबसे पहले समृद्ध होना जरूरी है, क्योंकि वो हमारे आने वाली जनरेशन के लिए लिखकर अपनी सोच को छोड़ने जा रहे हैं। तो मेरा मानना यह है कि इस जो कश्मकश और उसमें जो कॉन्वर्सेशन है उसमें ना घुस के हम अपनी अपनी तरफ से जो प्रयास हो सकते हैं वो करें।
धन्यवाद।
Thank you so much, Deepika and Suhail. I think this was, I think that anybody who's like thinking of writing a book or has written a book, I think should definitely get hold of Suhail and Deepika, even if just to have a conversation regarding the book. And thank you so much to PDLF and to Frontlist for this beautiful session. And thank you to all of you for listening.
Thanks, Amrita. You were really great. Thank you. Thanks so much.
What an insightful session it was. And thank you so much, Deepika, Suhail and Amrita, for the insightful conversation. To express our appreciation for the valuable contribution to the session, I would like now to call upon stage the Director of Pragati Vichar Literature Festival, Mr. Kapil Gupta, to felicitate the guests.
बस सच्ची बात है कि लेखन कोई बहाना था, उसी के लिए आई थी।